everyone, welcome back to a new video. I just recently posted a episode of Create This Book 2, so here we are with another one right in a row. So if you guys haven't seen that previous one, the link is down below. But today I'm showing you 3 different pages that I completed in this book. We are already on episode 14, so this book is slowly getting finished. I think it'll still be a while until it's complete, but nonetheless, let's get started. First up, we have a page that I didn't actually get the opportunity to complete on camera, so here it is anyways. The prompt says create a to-do list, so I made a bunch of different cleaning tasks on the left, and then I drew them on the right. So the cool thing about this page is that it's kind of a flap open, which you'll see very soon, so that I have all the different tasks to be completed throughout this entire thing. So there's these little cutout peepholes, so you can kind of see what's going on underneath. And then the part on the corner towards the middle of the book is just a piece of scrapbook paper, just for something cool, and then it kind of keeps everything in without the paper falling out of the fold, if that makes any sense. So here's the inside part of it. I think it turned out really well, and I'm so sad I didn't get to film it, but my tripod was missing that day, so I just did it off camera. But here it is. So you just fold it back, and then you can kind of tuck in the scrapbook page edge, and then it stays put pretty well. And next up, we have the page that took me ages to complete, but the prompt says create a shock. So I'm using a different technique that I have never used in an art journal before. So for this page, I'm using a transparency, and I wanted to make part of the page clear because I was making a butterfly net, which I just kind of thought of, and I thought that that'd be a fun idea. So after cutting a hole in the transparency, I'm going to sew a butterfly net out of this netting fabric that I had lying around. So I kind of made this tube thing that's closed at the bottom, and I pinned that in place and started sewing down. So what essentially happened is that on the net part, or the tube, there was seams on 4 sides. So it was kind of like a box, because if I just sewed it on one side, it would kind of just lay flat, and I thought that it didn't quite look like a butterfly net or what I was going for. So once that was all sewn up, I turned that inside out, and then it was ready to go for the circle part of the transparency that I made. I did measure this ahead of time to make sure that the circle was the right size, but later on I realized that I completely misjudged the size of it and it didn't really work. So over here I'm starting by taping the netting onto the circle, and this was an extremely difficult process because the tape wasn't sticking, and then I realized that I had the wrong size and it was just a disaster. So I had to remake the circle so that it fit the net a little bit better. I tried taping again, but later on I had to go with a different technique because this just wasn't working. So first off, apologies for the weird lighting. The lighting was just going crazy throughout the filming of this entire video, so I'm so sorry. But this new technique, I'm using these sticky note paper things, and I cut those into little pieces, and I thought that maybe I could use those to help hot glue onto the transparency. It's because I knew that I was going to burn my fingers if I didn't use, or if I just glued it straight on, because the netting is essentially see-through. So I kind of placed these around, and this was working much better, and it allowed me to take off the tape that I had previously put down, and things were looking up for me. So I cut a circle out of it to kind of cover everything on top because it was looking kind of messy. So I cut that out and glued it on top and tried to clean up the edges to my best ability, but the hot glue strings were taking over and it was just looking a little bit sloppy. But after that was completed, I ended up getting another piece of transparency to lay over that, just because I thought that that would kind of look cool. So I made a little bit of a swirly edge at the bottom, or wavy edge I guess, and just adds a little bit more interest. So I used some packing tape to attach that on, did some hot gluing to get everything together, and then I'm going to be making the bottom part of the butterfly nets. So I took one of these craft paper sticky notes and rolled it up, and then I'm going to be using this twine to wrap around the center of it, and then I will glue that on. When life tries to test me, I And now it is time to make the actual butterflies for the butterfly net. So I'm making these out of some cardstock paper. I sketched this out on a folded over piece and then cut them out, and I decided to color them in a variety of different purple colors. So I'm just keeping them pretty simple and coloring both sides of them just because I did fold them in the middle, so it's kind of you're able to see the back side of it when they are glued on, and then also when they're in the net, of course, because they're kind of just floating there. For the middle part of the butterflies, I'm using a pipe cleaner, and I had initially thought that I was going to put like both antennas on there, but it was just a little bit bulky and it looked funny, so I just did like one middle piece, so it's not completely accurate, but I hot glued those onto all the butterflies.
Life with a smile on my face. Nothing ever stays the same. There's always room for better days. I was crying yesterday, but look at me now, 'cause I'm good.
And next up, I just went to the work of assembling the entire page. So I outlined that curved section of the second transparency, glued the butterflies on, put some butterflies in the net, and then on the page beside it, I just added some white little sparkles everywhere and glued some butterflies on. Overall, I think this page is so cute and really unique, I think. It did take a long time, but I do love doing these like cool collage-y type pages that are different from any type of like drawing or anything. So that's how this one turned out. And my last page that I completed has the prompt create a pedestal and put something random on there. So I'm putting my favorite food / condiment, which is peanut butter, on the pedestal. So I'm drawing this out with some different types of markers. I have some Tombow brush markers and Crayola super tips. I cut that guy out and we'll glue it on. So I wanted to include a bunch of different foods that taste really good with peanut butter on them. And I will say that peanut butter tastes good on nearly all foods, but these are just some of the highlights. So I have a piece of peanut butter toast. I have a huge bowl of oatmeal with fruit and peanut butter on top, and I'm just putting these all on cardstock and then just coloring them in. I have a strawberry dipped in peanut butter, and then on this next page I'm drawing out a bowl of peanut noodles / stir fry with some different veggies, and also some peanut butter chocolate chip cookies, and lastly a bowl of peanut butter dip with some apples. So these were so fun to draw. I love how the colors turned out, and once that was completed, I cut everything out and then I got ready to place them on my page. I'm using these craft paper sticky notes for the background and ripping those and rearranging them so they kind of suit a nice little background, because I thought the color was kind of like peanut butter. I didn't have glue sticks, so I'm using tape here, and I had to tape everything down so the edges were kind of not super secure. So I made the decision to cover everything with packing tape. Typically this isn't my favorite look because everything just becomes really shiny and it doesn't look very good on photos or video, as you can see right now, but this had to be done due to my lacking supply of glue sticks. So I just covered the entire page with this packing tape. And here's the completed page. I think it's super cute. I also added some washi tape to add a little bit more interest to the page. I think the colors look great together, and it was fun to make a page to honor one of my favorite foods. So I hope you guys like this one. And that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me complete these 3 different pages. Let me know which one was your favorite in the comments, and I will see you guys in my next video.